Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. And welcome to Turning Your Passion into Profit Morning Show. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day, wherever you may be around the globe. You know, it certainly is a beautiful morning. And you know what? It's a beautiful morning to get those things done that you have been intending to do for such a long time. You know, today is the perfect day. Today is the perfect day to just wake up and say, you know what? Today, I'm going to finally get what I've been having, on my mind to do. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to start doing something that will, push me further along to achieving my goals. How about that? How about that? What can you do today that will help you and move you forward to achieving your goals? You know, y'all, it certainly is a beautiful morning. Did you remember to get up and frame your day? Did you remember to get up and look at yourself in the mirror and say, today is going to be a fantastic day. Today is the day that I'm going to make something happen in my life. Today, I'm tired of the same old. But today, I'm going to begin to get those things done. You know, I wake up each and every morning, and before I get in the presence of others, first of all, I get in the presence of God and I empty myself out before Him. And I ask Him to fill me for, this day, each day, okay? Each day. And then I get in the mirror and I look at myself, directly in the eyes. And I begin to affirm myself. I begin to tell myself how I expect my day to go. You have to have some expectancy. You just can't, just get up and, just not have any expectancy. You have to have some expectation of, what you hope to achieve each and every day. Just don't get up like, you're just existing. And that's what happens to a lot of people. They feel like, today is just another day. And they wake up with that mentality or that attitude, or however you want to say it, of I'm just existing. This is just another day. But guess what? You'll never see this day again. Once this day is gone, this day is gone. And I always say, it's just a blessing to even wake up in your right mind. Even to, first of all, even just to wake up, now you have another opportunity to get whatever it is that you have to do to get those things done, or at least start doing them, But don't take anything for granted. Always, have an attitude of gratitude and be grateful, because gratefulness, opens up a whole different the perspective of things, the way you see things, even the way that you see yourself, you know, even the way that you see yourself. And I'm going to be talking about that in detail on this broadcast, where I'm talking about difficulties robbing you of your success and how to maneuver to gain control. Because so many of you have lost, sight of who you are. Or maybe the first thing, you don't even know who you are. You don't even know who you are. And it's sad to say, but that happens to a lot of people. I was one of them. Okay. I was just existing, not really thinking, but not really knowing, because first you have to know in order to, think and see. First you have to know. Once you know, and when I mean know, I mean understand, okay? Once you understand something, you'll never, uh, you know, uh, be able to unsee it again. And you'll always remember. You'll always remember, because that's how great an impact of understanding is. That's a great impact. And I thank you all for, chiming in today and get in the comment section. And let's have that conversation. Get in the comment section and let's talk about it. But before I go into, the show today, let me say this. Let me introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. I'm Gertrude J. Chapman, and I teach you how to maximize your potential and stop leaving money on the table. Because so many times people allow themselves to consistently leave money on the table. And we're going to, wrap up some things and tie up some things and bring you into an understanding, with all these broadcasts that are on this platform. I teach about, I give you different nuggets and different tips and different things that can advance you to live your life on purpose, not just exist, but live your life on purpose where you can enjoy life, where you're just not going through, life on remote. You're just not, going about a routine, but you're truly enjoying life and you're enjoying who you are. So you could be unapologetically you. Now, the first thing I want to ask you is, how are you seeing yourself? When I'm talking about difficulties that are robbing you of your success, how are you seeing yourself? And what are you thinking? Because the way you see yourself and the way that you think about yourself has a great impact on you being able to move forward or be stuck, remain stuck in a certain place in your life. It makes a big difference. A big, big difference. So, how are you seeing yourself? And I'm asking this question. I want you to be honest, okay? Be honest with yourself. We got to stop playing the pretense and, covering up. But you have to be truthful in order to move forward, in order to be able to achieve. You have to be honest with yourself. Stop covering up. Just be real. Be truthful. Be truthful. And look at yourself. And really, think about it. How are you seeing yourself? Because the way you see yourself is the way that you're going to be. However you see yourself. And the way you see yourself is going to project to others. And they're going to see you the same way. So, how are you seeing yourself? And that comes with the exercise, even when you get in the mirror and you're looking at yourself in the eyes and you're honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Playtime is over. Pretense is over. These games are over. The merry-go-round effect is over. This has worn you out. This has tired you out. This has had you going around that mountain for so many months, so many years, decades. It's time to be honest with yourself. And how are you seeing yourself? Because that makes a big, big difference. And then, what are you thinking about yourself? As you think in your heart, so are you. And the way you see yourself and the way you think about yourself has a great impact on either, allowing you to move forward on your journey to success or keep you stuck in a place where you feel like there's a void there. There's something missing. And you just can't get your hands on it. You just can't get your hands on it. Now, your identity really influences what you become. Because once you come into the realization and the understanding of your true self, it makes a big difference. It changes everything. So your identity, I want you to listen to this, and really get this in. Let this sink in. Your identity influences what you become. And that's why I said, be truthful with yourself. I want you to be truthful, because there's greater for you. There's greater for you. There's treasures on the inside of you. There's gems on the inside of you. There's brilliance on the inside of you. And you have to see it. And you have to know how to take these things and allow them to work together for your good. Because everything that you ever need, you already have. You already have it. But because of you not seeing yourself, your true self, it's hidden to you because you're not understanding. You're not seeing. Understanding also opens up your sight where you could see. For so many years, many, many years, y'all, I did not see myself. If you would have told me anything about what I'm doing now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, I never saw it. I never saw it. So it was the furthest thing from my imagination. I could not see it. It didn't even dawn on me. I didn't even think that way. The way I think now is not what I thought years ago. Because it never, ever entered into my mind. Because I did not know who I was. So your identity influences what you become. Your identity with your truth. You have to identify with your truth. Especially, the self-esteem and self-confidence issues. You have to identify with your truth. If you're suffering from these things, And the reason I say suffering, because it does something to you. When you're not thinking that you're not worth it, when you're thinking that, this is for somebody else, when you're thinking that, nobody wants what I have, I'm not good enough. It has a lot to do. It has a lot of weight on it that will keep you away from achieving what you so rightfully deserve, because it's yours. But you just can't reach it. Because, like I say, you cannot see it. But there's a void there. I had a void for many years. When I was climbing the corporate ladder, the money was good. The bonuses were good. The perks were good. But I was so unfulfilled. I used to all day long go to the bathroom, not because I had to use the bathroom. I used to go there and cry, say, why am I here? I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And you see how powerful even your words are? Because when it came time for a layoff, that many of us were laid off in, because the housing market went bust. And this was back in 2006. And many, people lost their jobs. But your words have power. Because you remember I said, I was saying, I don't want to be here. I'm so unhappy. I just don't, why am I here? I don't want to be here. They had stages of layoffs. Okay. They would take so many people and lay them off. And guess what? I was in the first layoff. But you know what? That was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because it allowed me, but not only that, after the second layoff, because I went somewhere else, worked there 7 months, and got laid off again. With a bunch of other people, because they closed that location and they merged with another company. But that was the best thing that could ever happen for me because it allowed me to look inside of myself. I came to the end of myself where I could look inside of myself and, pull out my identify with my true self, identify with who I was. Everything you need is on the inside of you. And since 2006, I have been going forward and enjoying my life on purpose. It's the best thing that could have ever happened for me. A redirection, a suddenly. And you might be in a stage right now where you at that crossroad. And I want to inspire you today to look inside of yourself. Get to know yourself because your identity influences what you become. What you become. Frame your day. Change the way that you're seeing yourself. Change the way that you think. And if that means, you have to disassociate yourself with some people or some places or some things, so be it. Okay? Because greater lies within you. You don't need the negative comments. You don't need things that's going to pull you away from your true purpose. You don't need that. You don't need people talking down to you. Okay, so let's dive in because I want to talk about these things when I'm talking about just what I said about the disassociation. Let me tell you those difficulties that may be robbing you of your success. Okay, and a lot of times it becomes with associations. So I want you to get a clear picture of this. I just don't want to be talking this stuff out. I want you to get a clear picture of this. And sometimes this is the way people see themselves. And this is the way they talk to themselves. And when they see themselves this way and they talk to themselves this way and they're associated with the wrong people, the wrong places, and the wrong things, this is what it becomes. Have you ever heard people say, oh, I'm just down on my luck? They live in that lifestyle, down on your luck. Okay. Like I'm telling y'all, okay. In this world, I want you to understand this. There are no shortages. There is abundance all around you. But if you don't understand that, and because you can't see that, you live your life as being down on your luck, in debt all the time. You're in debt. You got more bills than you have money coming in. You'll always live your life like this, and you'll see it where you can't even get out, that it's impossible to you. That's the way you'll begin seeing. Okay, these are difficulties that are robbing you of your success, but you have to maneuver to gain control of your life. Okay, don't allow it to spiral out of control. Remember, I told you about association. I want you to get a clear picture of this, okay, when I'm talking, because I'm going to be presenting you with things, and you're going to have to go back and listen to, this broadcast 2 and 3 times to take it all in. Okay, down on your luck, in debt, discouraged. Discouragement will cause a person to quit. They just quit because they're so fed up. They're so, they're trying, and nothing seems to, be working for them. And why is that? Because of how they see themselves and what are they talking to themselves? What is going on with that chatter in your mind? What are you saying to yourself each and every day? Not only what you're saying to yourself, what are other people saying to you? What is it that's, supporting the negative thoughts that's in your mind, or the negative images that are in your mind that, has you seeing yourself as down on your luck? And it discourages you for trying to reach out, because now you feel like I keep trying, and nothing seems to be working for me. So eventually you just give up. You just fold, you just crumble. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, because I'm telling you, there's greatness in you. You're not an afterthought. You're not just somebody, just that was existent. You are somebody with a purpose, with a designed pathway, with goals, with value, with treasures. Now, you see how this comes to even affect self-confidence and self-esteem when you don't know who you are. This is the way you'll feel. This is the way that you'll go through life, that comes to sabotage your success. So some things, and I'm just going to shoot from the hip and be truthful with it. You have to disassociate yourself from people, places, and things if you want to achieve the greatness in your life. Because you can't force anybody else to change, but you could change. Let's be real. You can change. And sometimes you don't even have to say anything. They'll just drop off themselves. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. So if you get in the same things over and over, you have to, come into that understanding of who you are, where you could see it. And certain things will just wave you bye-bye. And I know this is, I'm saying a lot here. And I want you to have an ear to hear what I'm really saying to you. Down on your luck is also not being productive. If you find yourself in a situation like this, there's something inside of you. Remember I tell you about those treasures, those gems, turning your knowledge into dollars. You're not being productive. You're not seeing what you could create. You could create your way out of every situation, every circumstance. When I came to a reality of who I was and what I had on the inside of me, during that time, when I really looked inside of me, I was able to create an entire business, a whole business from what I had as a hobby, and that was writing. Writing was my hobby. But it led me to even create a business and to create a movement, because this is bigger than me. This is bigger than me. And what's on the inside of you is bigger than you also. And you have to see it that way. This is bigger than us. We're just one piece fitting into a gigantic puzzle. And each piece of the puzzle is fitting jointly together. You have to have a different mindset. So how are you seeing yourself? And what are you thinking about yourself? It plays a big part. You may even heard this. Let's move to the next talking point. Loser. You may be thinking that you're a loser. But let me go back to the first part, because I want to tell you the benefit of not being down on your luck. The benefit there is being fortunate. Okay? Being fortunate, because you are fortunate. I want that to sink in. Okay? You are fortunate. So I want you to have something to jump off on, to something that will give you hope, to carry you on to be the better version of yourself. Now let's move to the next one. Loser. People thinking of themselves as a loser, never being successful at anything. And sometimes people think of themselves this way. Oh, I'm just a loser. And they'll speak this thing out. They'll think this thing out. They'll act this thing out. Because as you think in your heart, so are you. And your mind, your mind will display those things over and over again. And, after you done spoke it out, after you done thought about it, now you're acting it out. You even put action to it. You dress a certain way. You just don't really care about your appearance or anything of that nature, because now you take on the identity of a loser. And you're not a loser. You are not a loser. As long as you have breath in your body, there's another opportunity for you to come into an understanding of your truth. Your truth. Okay? When people think this way, I ask them, are you on your design pathway? Or are you just, over here and somebody says something else, now you're over there, you're scattered. And when you're double-minded, you can't receive anything good, anything. You have to allow yourself to come into alignment with your truth, with your true identity. It makes a whole lot of difference than you feeling, under loser, it come even being defeated. Okay. Have you ever thought about that, being defeated? You can't see yourself winning. Everything, something has defeated you. Don't allow your mind to defeat you. Don't allow your mind to defeat you. You grab control of your mind. Grab control of those inner thoughts, those conversations. And you have to say, look, enough is enough. Okay? Enough is enough. I refuse to see myself this way. I refuse to think of myself this way. I'm going to make a change. It's up to you, but you have to come to that decision for yourself. Nobody can force it on you. You have to come to the end of yourself. Come to a decision that allows for no turning back. Come to a decision where you're just sick and tired of the same old, same old. And that has to be a decision that you make. Here's another one, being discouraged, okay? Being discouraged because, and I see this a lot, okay? I see this a lot where people will label themselves. You got to stop labeling yourself. Stop labeling yourself. And especially when I'm talking to authors out there, entrepreneurs out there. And I want to bring this up right here. I know there's grant money out there. I know, that people go for grants because I've gone for grants and different things like that. But sometimes they have in that writing, they'll call you a disadvantaged business. And now you take on that persona. Now you got in your head disadvantage. Okay? Stop allowing certain things or certain words to cause you to identify with being such and such. Like I said, disadvantaged. You're not disadvantaged. You're not disadvantaged by a long shot. So certain things you have to stop identifying with, because identifying with those things will cause you to think a certain way, to live a certain way, to believe a certain way, and to see a certain way. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I want you to get an understanding of what I'm talking about, because the benefit of this particular one, when we talk about loser, I want you to get the benefit of being an achiever, because you could do all things, but you have to see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. You can do all things. There's nothing impossible to you if you only believe. And you have to believe. You have to first believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself and don't believe that what you have on the inside of you could make a vast difference, not only in your life, but in your audience's life as well. Whether you're that author who's writing that book, or you're that entrepreneur, whether you're a virtual business or a brick and mortar business, it does not matter. You have a grand responsibility of bringing your products, services, or books on the world stage and changing the trajectory of people's lives. And not only their lives, but the people around them's lives, and also for generations to come. So you are an achiever. You're not a loser. So you have to understand this so you could see it. And the way to understand this is lining up with your truth. The next one is misfit, a misfit. Have you ever found yourself to be a misfit or considered yourself a misfit? Or even the black sheep of the family? All of those terms there. Difficulties robbing you of success. You can't fit in. You're always trying to fit in, to feel like you're somebody, unable to adjust. You're trying to fit into this group. You're trying to fit into this clique. You're trying to fit in over here and fit in over there, because now you don't understand who you are, because now you're apologizing for who you are, your uniqueness. So you try to hide it by fitting in. Okay? You're trying to hide it by fitting in with somebody and, dimming your light instead of, allowing your brilliance to come forth. Because at the end of the day, that's what your audience will gravitate to. Your uniqueness, your brilliance. They're not looking for, you to be the same. They're looking for that uniqueness where, that's what they need. That's what they're craving for. That's what they're looking for. But you so busy over here trying to fit in with the status quo, thinking that you need affirmation, thinking that you need people to pat you on the back, thinking that you need all these other things, attaboy or whatever. You don't need any of those things. Just be unapologetically you. Don't see yourself as a misfit. Don't see yourself as an outsider, okay? Don't see yourself that way. You have to get to know the real you, the true you. And once you do, all of these things are out of the way, this misfit syndrome that you have going on, thinking that you're a misfit, seeing yourself as a misfit, seeing yourself as people don't understand me. Number one, you don't understand yourself, because it doesn't matter if they don't understand you or don't understand your vision when you know who you are, because you could be unapologetically you, because they're not going to understand your vision. So why even try to explain it to them? Because they can't see it. They can't see it. That's why you have to see it. You have to see it. See your vision and stop worrying about what everybody else is. Stop trying to hide and dim your light in order to fit in. A fish out of water. Here's another one, a misfit. A fish out of water. I feel like a fish out of water. And I've heard people say that. And why they feel like a fish out of water? Because when a fish is out of water, it's this flipping and flopping on the sand. But once it gets back into its genius, which is the water, now it's able to sail, to swim away and to float and whatever. Okay, you see how easy it is? Just floating through, just maneuvering through in its genius. So if you're not operating in your genius, that's why you're going to feel like a misfit, because guess what? You don't belong there. So get where you belong, and you'll stop existing, and you'll just begin living your life on purpose, because life is too short, y'all. Life is just a vapor, just a vapor. So you have to make every moment counts, and somebody is waiting on you. Somebody's waiting on your genius. So the best thing for you is to get in line where you could receive the benefits of allowing your genius to flow. That's the benefit here, allowing your genius to flow. Now let's go to the next one. Difficulties robbing you of your success, distress. Okay, distress, anxiety, at wit's end, you know, trying so hard, trying so hard. Because when you're in your genius, remember, you're just flowing. It comes naturally to you. But when you're in distress, when you're at your wit's end because you're trying to, make this thing work, it's going to cause a whole lot of problems. Yo, you remember I told you about when I was climbing the corporate ladder, okay? And as I was climbing the corporate ladder, when I was in college, back in the day, when I came out of high school and I went to college, well, I went for business administration. That's where, my studies were in business administration. But then at that time, because I didn't know who I was offered a job by a guy who worked in banking and accounting degree, for my accounting degree. So at that particular time, I didn't, go into it. I just finished my, business administration. And then I went into real estate because I told you I did every part of the spectrum, climbing the corporate ladder. I went into real estate, got my real estate license, sold real estate. And then I decided to go and get my accounting degree, which I did. But you know what? That was so hard for me. And I love numbers. But that was so hard for me. I'm going to tell you, I struggled through those weeks, through those assignments, because I wasn't lining up with my design pathway. And that's what will happen to you. Okay? When you at your wit's end, because I was at my wit's end. Now look, I made high grades. I came out of there with an A. Okay? But the struggle was real. Because I was trying to, like I say, fit in. I was trying to live a life that was not designed for me. This is my life. That wasn't my life. And it caused distress. Now, that's why I tell you, how are you seeing yourself? I was trying to follow behind my parents' footsteps. They were in real estate. They bought and sold renovated property. I've done those things too. But that wasn't for me. The buying is good. But as far as, getting into the details and really carrying that as a business, even one time I was thinking about buying a Century 21 franchise. Thank God I didn't, because how unhappy I would be, unfulfilled, because that was not my design pathway. So difficulties that's robbing you of your success, distress, anxiety, disappointments. I'm going to tell you, I would have been disappointed. I would have been disappointed because of what I know now that I didn't know back then. I had nobody to teach me this. Like I'm coming to you. I had nobody to teach me this. I did not know this. I was just trying to find my way through life. Just like many of you may be trying to find your way through life. And there's always a better way. That's why if you're an expert in something, Oh, let me back up. To get to know yourself. That's why you must get to know yourself, because you are an expert in something. And somebody is waiting on you for you to teach them how to, or to teach them what to avoid, or to teach them how to come out of. It's very, very important, y'all. It's very, very important. So get to know who you are, your true identity, so you can line up on your design pathway, so you could teach others how to be successful and live their truth. But first, you have to live your truth and never be embarrassed. You don't have to apologize for anything. Never apologize for your uniqueness. Just be unapologetically you. No, people won't understand you because they can't see your vision. But you got to understand who you are, because you see your vision. It's crystal clear before you. Crystal clear. But you just can't sit there and you see your vision. And there's maybe some of you, you see your vision, what you're supposed to do, but you're just sitting there on it. You got to constantly move, because it's just like you're traveling down the highway. There's some things that you won't see if you remain in a stuck position or in one place and you're not moving. You have to move down the highway in order to see the different sights that there is to see. Because over here, you're not able to see them, because something may be obstructing your view. So you have to continually move. So get an understanding. Wisdom is a principal thing, but with all that getting, get an understanding, because an understanding will allow you to see your purpose in life, where you could live your life on purpose, live your truth, and be unapologetically you. Be unapologetically you. And the benefit of this is having that joy and that peace. That joy on the inside. Okay. There's a joy. There's a joy with getting up each and every morning, to do these broadcasts, to get whatever I have to get out to my clients, to, products and services, courses. There's a joy in this. There's a joy that I didn't have before, because I used to dread getting up in the morning, okay, to go and climb that corporate ladder. I dreaded it, but I could get up in the morning, whether or not I have 2 hours of sleep, because sometimes, I'm up early in the morning, like 3 a.m. in the morning, and I don't go back to sleep till 5. And then I have to get up to prepare for, this broadcast at 10 a.m. But I have joy. I have peace, a peace of mind, a peace where I'm not stressing, okay? Where I used to stress in that area. I have a peace. It's that peace that passes all understanding. No matter what may be going on around me, I have that peace and I enjoy it. There's a difference. And that's the way you're supposed to be, having that peace where you can enjoy your life and live your life on purpose. Live your truth, y'all. Live your truth. Live your truth. Suffering with, I think it's 79%. There was a study, I think by Wealthy Hair Network I'm trying to think of maybe it was 2001 or 2021. I think that's what the study said, that 79% women suffer from a general form of self-esteem, self-confidence issues. And that's a high number, 79%. Okay? Live your truth, audience. Live your truth. And it makes a big, big difference. Difficulties robbing you of your success. Discontent. Restless. Feeling like there's something missing, that there's a void. You've heard people say, well, I got to go find myself. No, You got to sit down and see who you really are. Discover who you really are, Get to know who you really are. Be introduced to the true you. Introduce yourself. Come into unity with yourself. A lot of people are so scattered within themselves. They think in one way, they speak in another way, they act in another way. There's so much disunity in their lives where they're getting everything all mixed up, everything scattered, and it's causing this discontent. And discontent is, also when you in this, it leads to depression. Okay, depression. And that was something that I came to when between that time, when, I was laid off from that first job. And, during that time between the first one and the second one, I came into a depression because I couldn't understand why, with all my experience, with all my education, all this good work ethic, everything good, why was I not receiving phone calls to land another job? Why? And it's not that I was lying on my resume, because I have so much, much education. I have a lot of education. I have a lot of experience that I could make my resume, I could leave some things out and pick up some other things. And it's absolutely the truth. It's not lying, because lies will catch up with you, but doing it the right way. Okay? I can make my resume fit to the different jobs that I wanted to go for. And I didn't understand. And that led me to a depression. So discontent, difficulties robbing you of your success because you feel like, there's more for you, or you're not understanding why some things are happening to you. And I'm going to tell you this, and this is nothing that I ever felt, because, thank God I never felt this way. But sometimes, people, they get in competition. Okay. And they feel like, okay, why is he getting this and why is she getting that? And I'm not getting it. Okay. And I want to tell you, everybody has their own pathway. You have your own pathway. You're running your own race on your own time card. So make it the best. Okay. Make it the best. You don't have to worry about somebody else. Just, be concerned about yourself. I won't say worry about yourself. Be concerned about yourself. And the benefit here is a calmness, a satisfaction. Okay. Anytime you feel like you're rattled and, you got all this going on, the anxiety and all these things, you're not at peace. Remember this. The benefit of all of this is being calm and having a satisfaction. And what brings that is living your truth, identifying with who you are, because you have to maneuver to gain control, and you do have control. But when you allow your life to spiral out of control because you don't know who you are, and you're trying to hit and miss and grab it over here and try to catch it over there, and you think in one way, you're speaking another way, and you act in another way, you have all this disunity within you. These are difficulties that could, but will lead into you feeling down on your luck. You're looking down on your luck. You're feeling like a loser. You're looking like a loser. You're acting like a loser. You feel like, you just can't fit in. Every time you fit in, you get kicked out. You're uncomfortable. You're dimming your brilliance. You're just trying to fit in with everybody else. You're hiding your true identity. You feel like you in distress because now you're just stressing out about everything, and you come into a place of depression. Now you're discontented because now you're restless. You're trying to fill that void, and you're just trying to find yourself. So all of these things can be overcome with you just taking time and getting to know who you are. Identify with your truth. Your truth, not what other people are thinking about you, not what somebody hopes that you should be, not what their expectation of you is, not uh, uh, their expectation of you should be, put it that way. Not trying to please anybody, but who are you? Who are you? Because your identity influences who you become. So identify with yourself. Get on your path so you're not stumbling through life, where you're not having all this apprehension, happening to you in life, where you're flowing. Because now, just like the fish out of water will flip and flop on the seashore. But the fish, once he's back in his genius, he will begin to flow. He will begin to flow. Okay? Don't you want to flow in life? Don't you want to go through life, being successful, achieving your goals, seeing yourself as fortunate, being that achiever that you are, allowing your genius to flow, having that joy and that peace, and being calm and being satisfied. Okay? Satisfied to the point of where you could see your design pathway, and you're traveling down that pathway, and you're enjoying the journey. You're enjoying the journey. So I want you to live your life on purpose. So I hope that what I have shared with you has generated, an understanding in you, giving you some thoughts, and for you to go back and sit down and really, get a good look at who you are and what you have, those treasures, those gems on the inside of you, and what you could do to make your life better and to live your life on purpose. So I thank you for, chiming in with me today, whether you on the chat or not. I don't see anybody in the chat right now, but I know that, those of you who are not in the chat, you'll usually listen in, and, you come here on the broadcast, you're following me, and I certainly appreciate you, following, turning your passion in the Prophet Morning Show. And I want to, acknowledge you for those that's following, those who are chiming in, those who are just looking. I hope that, what I share with you on these broadcasts will really inspire you to be the better version of yourself. So I thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to be here with me today. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. But I want you to remember this. This is your time. This is your season. This is your turning point. So have a great rest of your day.